Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Letter, where we have a decision to make.
It's dangerous to go alone?
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this with you.
The lizard?
Yes, take the lizard with you.
The lizard votes for it's dangerous.
All right.
Hence the it's dangerous to go alone.
Makes sense.
Forget it, Belle. You're not going back to that mansion.
Oh, no, we did bad. I thought that one was, like, patronizing.
I'd like to point out at this point, nobody should go back to that mansion. In fact, we should get the rights out of there and Johann's and just nuke it.
Yeah. I don't know why no one came up with that idea yet.
But Ash, what about...
This isn't up for debate. Do you really think they'll just let you in? Do you really think they'll give a damn if you walk in there carrying that stupid letter of all things?
No, but there has to be something we can tell them. Ash, they were with me during the open house. They have to know. They're in as much trouble as we are. They're living in that place. That ghost woman came from there. Both her and the letter. Something's in that house, Ash. And whatever it hides might be the only thing that'll get us out of this mess.
All right. Supposing you do find an answer there. What happens? Let's say that by some dumb luck, you got inside and found something.
What if you see her again? What if she goes after you? What are you going to do?
It's not like we have any other choice. Besides, I'm pretty sure you've already thought of the same thing. Admit it.
That doesn't mean I'm going to let you run straight into trouble. What you're planning to do is risky. For you. Give it up, Isabella.
Unexpectedly, Isabella merely clams up. No resistance, no further argument like I've come to expect from her. Uncharacteristic. Just a silence that stretches far too thin till the air in the whole room grows awkward and suffocating. A standstill that'll get us nowhere. Although if there's one thing our talk has wonderfully succeeded at, it's making me feel like a total asshole and a hypocrite. I am, considering my plans tonight. Sure, I can tell her, but what good would it do? I've already told Zach one person is enough. Hell, simply letting someone in on the plan makes me iffy. Broadening that circle and revealing too much would just cause another pointless concern. But someone has to be aware, at least of where I'm heading off to, in case things don't pan out. Expect the worst, even if I've only intended to do a quick survey of the place.
You should probably just admit your undying love of her now because things are just not going to go well.
Right? In my own words, risky. Isabel doesn't need to be burdened with the worry my entire scheme entails. I'd like to think that, yes, to some extent, she understands, even if she does not entirely agree with me. The dilemma's clear in her. Otherwise, her scowl would have a deeper set to it. Her lips wouldn't be pressed in a thin line, or her hand would no longer be balled into fists. She would have pushed that argument. If she doesn't, and I know she has no lack of things to say. Maybe it's because she has already heard the same thing from Rebecca. Maybe my words have made her come to her senses. Either way, it's best that we simply leave it here for now. I stand up as soon as footsteps shuffle from the next room, its cadence slow and hesitant. Shortly, Rebecca comes into view, clutching her hands firmly in front of her and sporting the same uncertainty in her face. She casts me a cursory look, then shifts a nervous one to Isabella, who studies her with an almost hopeful gleam in her eye. Their fights never did last long.
Belle, can we talk alone?
Oh, I'm not talking to you. Ever. Again.
Her interruption could not have come sooner, and I'm all the more glad for it. Whatever kind of friendship I share with the two, this remains something for only the two of them, much like my own with Zach. I'm the outsider, they don't need me here. It's all the reason I need. Muttering an excuse, I beat a hasty exit out of the main lounge and leave them to mend things on their own, before Isabella can say what she's been mulling over. Before the last imploring glance she directs my way forces me to change my mind. It's another lasting image that firmly etches itself in my memory, one that spurs the conscience, among other things. I just hope I won't regret what I've chosen for myself tonight. Oh, here we go. Galway Shaw's Monday night crowd, although small and barely occupies a quarter of the whole pub, provides ample enough cover for anyone who wishes to leave the place unnoticed. Just exactly what I need tonight, with the lively music and chatter slipping out, mostly unseen, becomes a piece of cake. Without much trouble, soon enough, I find myself standing outside under the chilly Luxbourne night. A gust of wind picks up shortly after I step out, carrying the telltale smell of an impending rain. I'll give it about an hour or two before it starts. From the looks of it, tonight will be another downpour, maybe even stronger than the one we had this morning. On instinct, I hunched further into my jacket, hugging its thick material closer to my body while I weave my way through the lines of empty cars in the parking lot. The letter crinkles in my pocket with each step I take, though I pay it no mind as I hurry towards my car. I've nicked it minutes ago from Isabella's belongings on my way out. If this is all connected, I need this damn piece of paper with me. However ridiculous it sounds, I'm quite sure it won't be missed either, because I can't waste time here and wait for her to find out, can I? 4 hours is all I'm giving myself to get this done. 3 if I'm inclined to go by the rule Z-Man set, but when have I ever? Regardless of how generous that is, each second is just as important as the next. So I hurry, one footstep over the other, echoing as I make a beeline for my car. But as with every plan, problems crop up at the last second. It's practically a universal rule. And it does. In the form of a lone figure waiting for me next to my car.
Zach? Oh,
Nope.
Jesus.
Crap. Rebecca turns just as I near the corners of her mouth twitching up in a wry smile. She offers no greeting except for a slight tilt of her head. Even as my pace slows and I look at her with all the unvoiced questions in my eyes, she remains wordless. Merely throwing up her hands back, merely throwing her head back and shifting her attention up at the starless sky when I come back to stand beside her. Another gust of wind blows as she breathes out a sigh, weary thick with something close to resignation. The breeze carries all of it away while she hugs her arms closer to herself to keep warm, which raises the question why she's out here. The air's already heavy with the promise of rain. With clouds obscuring the view, there's really nothing left to look at but a dark blanket of nothingness. She stands here as if she's intentionally waiting for everything to fall. That or she's here for some other reason. But before I can voice a single word, express a disapproval of any kind, she raises a halting hand at me, sharply cutting off the rest of my question.
I'm not here to stop you. Wherever it is you're planning to go off tonight, I won't be able to anyway. You look like you've already made up your mind.
Go back inside. It's going to rain soon. It'll probably be even heavier than the downpour we had this morning. You wouldn't want to be caught in it.
Why didn't we just leave and go to the mansion after? Like, those two are making up. It's going to take like 3 hours to hash it out. They're women. They have to argue about everything first, then make up.
That's not how they roll.
I just
Or she
want to
murdered
stay out
Isabella
here
and
a
hit her
bit
in
for
the
some
bar.
air, away from the noise inside. Everything's been so chaotic these days. This little break is nice. Even if it means standing in the middle of a parking lot, of all places. Getting out of this mess would definitely be better, but hey, you take what you can get, right?
It'll be over soon.
The confidence in my own words surprises even me. How do I know? Why am I so sure? When in truth, what I'm about to do is a last-ditch effort. If this fails, if I don't find anything, we're back to square one. That's the last lead I have. After this, we have nothing else to go off from. Regardless, it seems to amuse her, and her laughter soon sounds above the murmur of the distant traffic and the light draft sweeping around us.
How I wish. I'll be content as long as she stops showing up in my mind whenever I close my eyes.
I think that may take some time. The brain doesn't easily forget trauma.
I can try, but you know, it also did a lot to us.
Tell me about it. The back of my head's still smarting from my fall last night.
Not that kind. I'm talking about us. As people. I hate to admit it, but this whole deal with the ghost, with the curse, it also brought out an ugly side to us. To all of us. And it made me realize plenty of things.
Stop going around being a bitch.
About myself.
Yep.
About us.
Rebecca trails off. Suddenly, a pensive expression spreads across her face. I've seen it countless times before.
Do you have this feeling she's going to ask us out?
Yeah. And every time...
Chicky.
I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I could see it.
I can't see either one of them.
I was going to say, I don't see the game letting us put Ash and Isabella together. Is my theory. Because I feel like it would have taken that turn already.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
All right. And every time I see it on her, it's usually followed by a memory, a silly story, or even something embarrassing I've said from childhood. Unlike me, who will much rather forget, she remembers each of them so easily. And after a short bout of silence, when she smiles, I know this is one of those times again.
Do you remember that one time back in secondary?
Nope.
Which one?
Ugh.
We did a lot of dumb things back then. Well, I did, but you get the point.
Mandy.
I thought you still don't like her. Don't tell me you've kept in contact with her. Are you guys friends now or something?
What is going on?
I don't know.
Oh no. We do see each other sometimes. On the way to work or when I go out for lunch, but It's nothing like that. We're not friends. Not in this lifetime. I don't think so. I don't think we'll ever get along, but if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even be friends, yeah? You stood up for me that day. And from then on, things have changed.
He makes it sound like I'm some sort of hero. Mandy was in the wrong, of course I'll defend her. If no one's going to stand up for her, who else will? Chances are it would have escalated and who knows, maybe she would have stopped going to school or transferred. Any decent human being with an ounce of sense should know better. I acted because I know what I'm doing is what's right. It's as simple as that. Yet she smiles as if it's worth more than that, a fondness that goes beyond nostalgia.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is, this time, I don't want this to go unsaid. You know, just in case something happens.
No, don't do it. We don't have enough friendship
Ash,
points.
I've always been in love with you.
There we go.
As friends, right?
Yes.
As sister and brother, right?
I'm pretty sure that's what that means. She says it so plainly, holding my gaze and in a voice too frank that her admission stuns me into silence. Like the wind has suddenly been knocked out of me in one fell swoop. No words will form, not even a single coherent thought as the meaning of her words bear down on me. Nevertheless, she continues, desperate to express everything she has kept to herself all these years. This is what the fondness is. Why, for her, it weighs heavier than any feeling of nostalgia can carry.
Since that time in secondary, since I made that promise to never leave, I've always truly loved you.
How did we go from, like, that voice to almost crying to back to this voice?
That's a good question. Afterwards, there is a relief, a weight suddenly being lifted from her shoulders after so long. She closes her eyes and lets out a breath. Uh-oh.
They're gonna make us choose.
They're gonna make us choose. Oh, absolutely.
Frick.
When she looks back at me, though, there's nothing but hope in them, eyes that are searching for an answer. Facing the sincerity behind her words, I find myself grasping, scrambling for the words. Because as much as this pains me to admit, I can't give her the same affection she's asking from me. We might have spent so many years alongside each other. Hell, we practically grew up together. But that never automatically means I'll ever hold for her feelings that goes beyond the boundaries of friendship. I do appreciate her presence in my life. I'm more than glad that she has stuck with me even through the toughest moments.
Friendship over.
Yeah. Even when she finds me difficult or aggravating. However, it's really all there is to it. She's a close, important friend to me, but nothing more. I wonder if it's because of our
friendship levels.
Yeah. Oh, we were probably like really close too. Which is weird that they kind of take that choice away from you.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's made up in all the other choices we've made, but that's weird that like... I draw on a breath, ragged, unsure, uncertain how and which words to put together so it will hurt her less, so the wounds that might leave won't be as deep or scarred.
Oh, it's gonna scar. You're screwed. Good luck.
I'm really worried the keyboard is not being super responsive.
Oh, good. So we need a quick time event.
Yeah.
So we can watch the freaking demon eat us before we have to respond to this question.
Yes. If that's gonna happen, can it happen
Ghost,
now?
Please, now, right
Yeah,
right
this
now.
would be like the perfect
Take
time.
us.
Though before I can even string two phrases together, she lifts a hand to my mouth and silences me. A smile's on her face, kinder than every single one I've seen from her so far. It's nice to see it on her. It suits her more than the glares or the frowns. But at the same time, it only serves to baffle me.
You don't have to answer me.
Yeah, but you should... I should...
No, I mean, you don't need to.
Okay, now I'm really confused. One moment you're saying you've been in love with me since secondary, now you're telling me to shut up?
Women.
Yeah, it makes sense.
If you want to interpret it like that, all right.
No, really. Some explanation would be nice, Becca, because a lot of things are going on right now, and I'm afraid I can't catch up. Especially with this curveball you just threw.
It means what it means, Ashton. You don't need to answer me. I don't really need to hear it anymore. It's not that I don't want to. Believe me, if I were the same person I was before this whole thing happened to us, I'd be elated. excited even. But like I said, I also realized some things. Understood myself more.
Realize you like another chick.
I don't think that's it. We can go back.
Ash, I did love you. Ever since we were kids.
A change of
all
heart
those
achievement.
times you defended me from bullies. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Even after this. But at the end of the day, once you take a closer look at everything, it also turned me into a really selfish person. When you think about it, maybe the Ashton I loved isn't the one standing in front of me right now. Maybe all this time, I'm still clinging on to that aloof kid I met 17 years ago. I didn't even consider that you have a mind of your own. That one day, it won't just be the two of us. That you'll find someone else and it won't be me.
I'm sorry, Becca.
When did this turn into a soap opera?
I mean, it's kind of been a soap opera the whole time.
All I keep thinking of is the Big Bang Theory episode where Penny and Leonard go to the movies, and she's like,
"Oh, it's not a date."
Oh, it's not a date.
I'm not even sure what I'm apologizing for, that I can't return her feelings, or because I'm somehow holding myself responsible for this, even if up until now I have no idea how she felt. Regardless, she continues to smile through all of it.
It's not your fault. Don't say that. I'm the one who should apologize. Since I suddenly sprung this up on you when you have other things to do.
Demons to murder, ghosts to find.
Yeah.
I just thought I should let you know. So I can finally let this whole thing go. One question though.
Uh-oh.
Are you going to tell her?
See?
There we go.
Tell what to who?
I pause, frowning, a brief moment of doubt while I try to figure out what she's talking about all of a sudden. When it finally sinks in, though, my bewilderment hastily gives way to utter embarrassment.
Oh, shit.
Women have a good sixth sense about these things.
Heat abruptly crawls up my face, no matter how my efforts to keep it down. In the end, I can only look away from her, afraid of what else she'll see in it.
Did you really think no one would notice?
Yes.
Was it that obvious?
She
It was
apparently is
surprisingly
oblivious.
easy to tell. But that was probably because I've known you longer than anyone.
Fuck, who else knows?
I think Zach
Zach.
suspects.
Yeah.
Everyone you know, everyone at the realty company, the whole
Yeah,
town,
probably, yeah.
the ghost, everyone but you.
Yeah.
You're embarrassingly lame when you're trying too hard. It's almost painful to watch. Don't worry. With your terrible way of flirting and knowing her, I'm quite sure Belle has no idea, even now. Not even a clue.
Harsh, Rebecca. Really harsh. I could use a vote of confidence, you know.
She's not wrong, though.
Yeah. She laughs loud, the kind that's free of any burden, ringing above the wind, slowly picking up as the storm clouds approach. With it, however, the awkward atmosphere lifts at last. There's only that camaraderie we've shared since meeting in that classroom 17 years ago.
I'm serious, though. Tell her, and if you ever make her cry,
Nah.
I'll hit you with every damn history book I have on my shelf. Clear?
Noted, ma'am.
Anyway, thanks for hearing me out. I won't keep you long. I know you have things to do.
You've already kept me long.
Yeah.
That sentence is false.
Just promise me you'll be careful, all right?
No promises.
I also like to point out, in most horror movies,
This is usually right before someone gets killed.
she's dead.
Or we're dead.
Then we wouldn't have to worry about the love triangle anymore.
Yeah, that would probably save Ash some trouble. She doesn't wait for an answer. Instead, she gives me a push with a force only heavy enough to throw me off balance. Caught unawares by the gesture for a few moments, I fight for purchase against my car's trunk, bracing my hand on its smooth surface. When I look up with a string of reprimands ready at the tip of my tongue, Rebecca's already halfway through the parking lot. There's a small skip in her steps while the breeze carries the light tune she's whistling. On a whim, I let its notes be the last thing I commit to memory before slipping
God,
inside
is
my
it
car
London
and driving
Bridge?
off. It sure is. Sounds like a new beginning more than anything. Another reason to be optimistic.
It's not. All right.
Within 10 minutes, I'm driving out of Luxborn and heading straight for Anselm Village.
Come on, ghosty.
And we'll just have to find out what happens in Anselm in the next episode.
Better be a ghosty.
I'm hoping so. Yeah, I'm thinking the next one will probably be the end of Ash's chapter.
I was going to say the end of Ash.
The end of Ash. It could be the end of Ash too. We'll just have to find out. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.